Let's go.
All right, my name is Tyree Simon, and this is the NBA Finals Game 2 reaction / Game 3 preview. This is the Sideline on YC Radio channel. Please subscribe to hear more content and sports topics in the near future. Next Sunday, we'll be doing a UFC 238 review. All right? But today, it's all about the NBA Finals. And to help discuss it with me, I had to call in the family. I have my cousin on live, Courtney Robinson. Courtney, how you doing?
What to do? What to do? What to do?
Thank you for jumping on there. I didn't. You don't like being on camera or whatever, but I definitely appreciate you coming on there and speaking to me about little NBA action. And for what it's worth, you did also put me on to basketball, so it makes it even more better.
Congratulations.
And you're gonna have your kid in the background, so you're gonna hear a little noise in the background, and you may have to go get her up. So we'll get this up and running right now. Okay, so
Young Ava in the background. Young Ava in the background.
Game 2 is in the books. The Golden State Warriors beat the Raptors. That's the score is now tied. The series is now tied 1-1. What do you think of the playoffs so far, Corey?
Honestly, I can't lie. I'm actually content with it. You know, it's not the same old Cleveland Golden State series.
Right.
That wasn't gonna happen no more because LB decided to go jump ship and go over to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Probably a little upset about that one. But
yeah.
Hey, it happens. But I'm actually very, very happy about it. You know, you got Toronto in their first finals, 25 years in the making. So, something new. It's not your usual ABCD mess that you get usually every single season. Insight, surprise,
Speaking of surprise, it is interesting not having, there is a level of unpredictability with this playoffs because of the fact that now, KD is hurt. Game 2 yesterday, Klay Thompson seems to be hurt. He's questionable for the next game. It's a lot of drama. There's the Drake situation there. You have, the Kawhi Leonard is showing everybody he's one of the best players in the NBA. You have on the opposing side, Golden State Warriors. You don't know if this is going to be the last time KD is going to be on the team. He's hurt. He's not playing. Klay Thompson is now hurt.
KD to the Knicks.
You said KD to the Knicks?
KD to the Clippers. Watch that.
Which are both options there.
Definitely
they're both options.
This offseason is going to be very interesting.
It is
getting away from where we're supposed to be. Playoffs, brother. Playoffs.
That's right. So, what do you think of Game 2? What do you think of Game 2 yesterday?
Actually,
or not yesterday, but Sunday.
It was very uplifting. You had both teams putting up drastic fights, and even I think the series is going to be awesome off the simple fact that you seem like you have two very competitive teams going at one another.
Right.
On a normal basis, I feel like prior to the Kawhi trade, one, you would not have seen Toronto at this junction of the season. And two, the way that they actually fought back. Because usually, once you go down by as many points as they went down in the second game, usually old Toronto, you would have seen them quit.
Right.
They actually fought back and they actually made it a game, It come down to the end of the game, there was still a possibility that Toronto could have won that game.
Yeah. And I think they could have won that Game 2 game, honestly, in Toronto. I just think it was just sloppy. It was the first quarter was good, and just after that, it just got a little sloppy. And then come the third quarter, Golden State was just all over them, and they rallied back in the fourth, but by then it was already too late.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm talking about with that when I said that they actually clawed back, because in prior instances you wouldn't have seen that fight from them.
Yeah.
Which I definitely applaud the team effort right there, because that was completely a team effort. But
Let me ask you this: what do you think of DeMarcus Cousins and his role in this series so far?
You know, I'm actually content with Cousins because of the fact don't get me wrong, I was not ecstatic that he joined the Golden State Warriors because of the fact that's their cheat team. That's like having 5 creative players playing 2K19.
Great reference.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, who wants to play against that team? I know I don't. You come to me with that team and I have the Knicks, guess what? I'm quitting.
Well, I mean, any team against the Knicks, you would want to quit.
Nah.
Right now in this season.
Okay. Listen, stop talking about my team like that. Pause your brakes.
For the listeners, Courtney is a diehard Knicks fan, so it's always great to bust his balls when I can talk about anything Knicks related, especially their management, their off-season, them not getting a high pick in the draft, everything in between. It's always great. It's always fun.
Listen, management does suck. I will agree with you that we got a decent pick because we got to pick up RJ Barrett. That's going to be a great pick for the Knicks. They better not mess it up. But knowing James Dolan, he is going to figure out some way to screw that up. We'll get he'll end up having us trade that pick for like the 29th and something in the second round, some dumb shit like that. But that's James Dolan. We love him. Let's go Knicks!
Anyway, speaking on the NBA Finals, Klay Thompson hurt in Game 2.
Yes, he is.
Do you think we see Klay Thompson for the rest of the series?
Definitely do.
See, I'm not sure.
If anything, they may hold him out for Game 3, but by Game 4, I definitely expect to see him back.
But bringing him back, is it going to hurt Klay Thompson and Golden State Warriors in the long run? Meaning, you're going to have an unhealthy Klay Thompson. You already have a recovering DeMarcus Cousins. If that's even the case, he could still be hurt. KD, they're trying to rush back in there. It just seems like there's a lot of injuries going on there. I don't know if you want to rely on your bench a little bit more and try to make it work, or bring out Klay Thompson that's hurt, Kevin Durant that's hurt, keep DeMarcus Cousins out there playing long minutes, which worked out, but it could hurt you in the long run.
So let's go over this again. Klay has a mild hamstring strain.
Yeah,
which means that
that's even the case.
It's questionable for Game 3. I actually just consulted my little sources right here. Google to the help. And it definitely says that he's questionable for Game 3 with a mild hamstring strain. Right. I do think you may see him now. Now I'm reading what's going on with him. Mm-hmm. I actually do think you'll see him for Game 3. Maybe as not as many minutes, but maybe he'll run him in a bench role.
Right.
Run him off the bench. Maybe what is he averaging, about 40 minutes per game? Maybe he'll average 20 minutes next game.
I think even that's a stretch.
Yeah, I didn't really want to say 20, but it was the first number that came in my head.
Yeah.
Say maybe like 12 to 15.
Is Klay Thompson up for free agency? If I'm mistaken. If you're Klay Thompson, I know this is almost sacrilegious to say, but do you run the risk of putting yourself out there in these series and then possibly get even more hurt, or do you preserve yourself for free agency, hope and pray that the Golden State Warriors get it done, and try to set yourself up big in the market?
Well, it's a double-edged sword on that one, because to be known as a team player, you don't want to be like you don't want to put yourself out there as being, right. Oh, I have this contract coming up, so to make sure that I can get that contract that I want, I'm gonna sit out the rest so I'm not hurt. It kind of makes you seem like a selfish player, teammate, but in the same sense, you're looking out for yourself.
Yeah, and there is legitimacy there. He was hurt in the finals yesterday, So I mean, he could say, or it could turn out that this injury is even worse than it seems. Like Kevin Durant said, he had it was a mild, I think it was mild hamstring, same thing as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, as you're saying that, let's just check that out.
Sources. Check your sources. But it seems like it's more than what they appeared to be.
Google to the rescue.
There you go. And also in the game, another player was hurt. I think it was Looney was hurt as well with a rib cage injury. Since there's a lot of issues with the Golden State Warriors and their health, which makes me think, the Raptors have a chance. The Raptors have a chance to win, an NBA championship, and it makes it more exciting. You couldn't predict these things going into the playoffs, but now while these things are happening, now I'm even more intrigued. But at first I thought Golden State going to the finals, winning the championship, same old, same old. Now I'm actually interested. I'm actually anticipating, a change here. There's suspense in the air. You don't know what's going to happen.
There definitely is. Definitely is. Actually, this is one of the more, I guess, exciting finals, if you could say, because of the fact it's the unknown there. Granted, these are both two great teams. Either one can win. Granted, you asked this question at the beginning of the season, I would have never said Toronto. Right. I would have said definitely Golden State all the way. Even though I can't stand Golden State. I hate their team. I hate the fact that they have I hate the fact that they have 5 superstars in their starting lineup. Anybody on their starting lineup can go and lead a team on their own. Anybody.
Think about this. We didn't even have the Raptors on our radar. I didn't have them on our radar. I had Boston. Boston was supposed to be the foregone conclusion to go to the NBA Finals and play Golden State. Now we're having unpredictability with Golden State and Toronto. Now we're seeing something. Toronto, they may have a chance.
You know what you saying that? I wanna. You said Boston. Honestly, in my head, I always had Milwaukee. I definitely always had Milwaukee. I seen Milwaukee beating out Boston from the jump, but to my surprise, also
they didn't make it either. Yeah,
that's why you have to give kudos to Toronto. They are the North,
and it is interesting to see, how important Kawhi Leonard is. He's coming back from an injury. He was hurt last season. Only played 9 games. And now he's pretty much leading this Toronto team to possibly a championship. And, he has to be the best player on the court at all times.
Nah, you have to. There's somebody that you have to always remember. They have this point guard named Stephen Curry. Even game 2,
right?
First quarter, Curry was shut down,
right?
And I don't know if you saw his second half stats.
No, yeah,
pretty much incredible.
Crazy. He went crazy.
Brought you by Lunchables.
He went crazy. I just think with Kawhi Leonard, he has to, in order for the Raptors to get anywhere, beating Golden State, he would have to be the best player on the court. There's no number 2 behind him that can help lead the team. He has to be number 1.
No, he definitely has to be number 1 because Bum Lowry is definitely not doing it.
No.
They definitely, if they can get Siakam to actually continuously play the way that he played in game 1. Baby, 1 second, sweetheart. If they could get Siakam to play the way that he did in game 1, as opposed to the way that he played in game 2, like, don't get me wrong. He did still play, he still had a decent game. I have to go check my stats.
No,
I know he did have 32 in game 1.
Right. I will say this though, also, DeMarcus Cousins and his role, game 1 he had very limited playing time. Game 2 shows up really big, and pretty much I think DeMarcus Cousins was the big difference maker in that game 2 win. He made a lot of big plays, defensive plays especially, to get it done.
Defensive plays, offensive rebounds, that was very key. Cousins, Honestly, Cousins was at that final piece. If they were at full strength right now, honestly, I don't think we'd be having this conversation about the series being 1-1. I think the series would definitely be 2-0 at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I again,
on their way to a possible sweep.
I also credit the carelessness of the ball in game 2. There's a lot of carelessness with the ball. A lot of 3-point shots that you probably could have
need to be put up.
Out. Yeah. What do you see could be the key factors in game 3 coming up for both teams?
For both teams, one, you have to get another scorer besides Kawhi for Toronto. I know there's no more place. I have to get. You definitely need a number 2 scorer behind Kawhi. You can't have the breakdown of. Give me 2 seconds. You can't have the breakdown that you had in game 2, where you had
Kawhi not scoring, and then you have everybody else not scoring, and they just throwing up threes.
Exactly. Okay.
I could see.
Don't get me wrong. Kawhi did have a decent game. He had 34 points and 14 rebounds.
Right.
Besides that 34 points, your next leading scorer was Van Fleet at 17.
Yeah. Who's playing great?
Who's playing great? Don't get me wrong. Toronto has 2 rising stars with Van Fleet, Siakam, and don't sleep on my boy Powell.
And I love Marc Gasol. I think Marc Gasol is also a key factor for that team. Is going to need to be a key factor for that team. Staying out of foul trouble if that could be helped.
And they also need to stop running as many pick and rolls with him and Kawhi because they're definitely adapting to that play,
right?
And is actually causing them more harm running it than not running it. Like, granted, don't get me wrong, don't stop running it altogether, but you shouldn't come down the court and 3 consecutive plays be ran like that. No.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for failure, pretty much, as you've seen.
And here's the thing: the first quarter, there was so much. I think the ball movement was so much better in the first quarter that it almost foreshadowed what was things to come. But it just seemed after that first quarter, it just got sloppier and sloppier. I don't know if you want to credit the defense of Golden State or just the carelessness of Toronto, but it definitely did lead to Golden State getting the win.
It definitely did. What you call it? It was sloppy.
Yeah.
Very sloppy. Very, 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 very sloppy.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my personal opinion, this was probably one of the most sloppiest playoff games in a while.
Let me ask you this: Golden State, right? What do you see from Golden State on moving forward to get win the series? Obviously, you have Klay Thompson; he's hurt. KD is still hurt. You lost Looney. You're relying on everybody on your bench to help you out. Stephen Curry and DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is still hurt. Stephen Curry is carrying the load a little bit here. What do you see from Golden State, and how could they move forward in the series?
I don't know if you recall correctly. Their last finals, EP.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what his name was?
Stephen Curry?
No.
No, it wasn't Stephen Curry. Interesting.
No.
KD?
No.
Who was the Finals MVP?
Andre Iguodala.
Oh, right, yeah. The guy, you know what? It's interesting that you say that because he's the guy that almost gets slept on to the point where he shot the wide open 3 with nobody guarding him. And they ran the gamble of letting him shoot the 3. And, they probably could have came back and won that game. Toronto could have.
Andre Iguodala, as much as underrated of a player as he is,
right?
You have to remember, prior to him coming to Golden State, he was a star. He's a very good defensive player. And honestly, even with all the superstars that you have on that team, I would like him to take that last shot on my team because I feel like he's that damn clutch.
Yeah. Granted, I don't think a 3-point shot was necessary, but
it wasn't necessary, but it's not like he can't make it. It's not like you have you're telling me that you're gonna have Dwight Howard out there shooting my three, taking that shot. I don't want.
Right. I don't think nobody does.
You tell me I'm gonna pass the ball Iguodala for a wide open shot. Please take that shot at any time that you want, please, because I know you can make it.
That was a big time shot.
Exactly, it was. That kind of like, you know how the saying, the nail in the coffin?
Yeah.
That was the nail in the coffin. I think he missed that shot. Completely different game.
Different game, exactly.
Honestly, you have to think about it. With all of that game, I think he played unsung heroes. I think he's their unsung hero. Granted, he only had 8 points. He had 8 rebounds. But every one of those points and every one of those rebounds came in a clutch situation. When they needed a rebound, when they needed a point.
So what I'm getting from you is the fact that Andre Iguodala is the key player to helping that team move forward.
Yes.
I also want to credit Shaun Livingston as well. I think Shaun Livingston is also a player that should be credited, or if they're gonna go forward, I think Shaun Livingston is gonna have to step up a little bit more. I think Cook is doing a good job. I think Andrew Bogut is somebody that they should be utilizing a lot more.
Yes, they should.
Yeah.
There was no purpose in grabbing him up if you're not going to utilize him.
Exactly. Let me ask you this question before we sign off here. Who do you have winning this finals and in what game? What game will be the ending?
What happened?
You logged off for a second.
My phone is cutting off. My phone is cutting off.
Yeah, yeah. I'll go first. I think I have Toronto. Well, I don't think I know. I have Toronto in Game 6 of the finals. I think Game 6, Toronto, like you said, puts the nail in the coffin against the Golden State Warriors. I think you'd see, Kawhi Leonard show everybody he's one of the best players in the league, and I definitely think, free agency for Kawhi Leonard is going to be a lot more interesting. Apparently, there's sources saying that he already has, he's taking residency in Toronto, which is interesting. Where, you thought it was going to be LA. Who knows what that could be? But it is interesting to see, Kawhi Leonard showing everybody that he's one of the best players in the world. And Courtney is still off. He's having technical difficulties. So I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up by saying, this is a great NBA Finals. Definitely unexpected. I definitely didn't see Toronto getting as far as they did. Definitely didn't think, we'll see a KD injury or a Klay Thompson injury or DeMarcus Cousins injury. It makes it all the more interesting. You don't know what to expect, and now there's unpredictability. I don't know who's gonna win. I'm going to go with Toronto, but I could be wrong. It's Golden State at the end of the day. But it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting series. Thank you, anybody that was listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. And this Sunday, next Sunday, you will see the UFC 238 review with myself and Elijah Jones, talking everything UFC 238. All right, signing off. My name is Cyrus Simon. Corny, he had technical difficulties. He's not able to get back on there, but I thank him for coming on here as well, and his little daughter as well. Have a nice day, everybody.